y'all. Checking in. Dixie here. So I uploaded a video earlier today, but it was pretty much old news by the time I posted it. So, I'm just feeling very just ugh right now. So basically, I think I alluded to the fact that I thought Spyro might try to target Dry Bones. And basically that's what is seemingly happening. Dry Bones, basically, I think not in any sort of malicious way, but perhaps in an effort to make sure that his position was secure, was telling Quilava and Spyro basically that Zag had told him to watch out for them because of the fact that they're married. Um, as far as I can tell, it's somewhat true. Zag did say similar things to me, but not quite as overt. I think the reality is that what Zag said was probably a little bit more carefully phrased, but I think that's kind of splitting hairs in a way. I think that there's certainly an implication, and I do think that Zag has been in a spot where I think that Conquer and Crash and Zag are feeling not super secure in this group, and so I think that throwing anything out there, even subtly so, has probably been something that they've been mulling over. I also think that for Aerith and Spyro, I think that they don't necessarily trust Dry Bones. And I feel bad because Dry Bones has really opened up to me. Um, and I can tell that he trusts me. And so it's hard for me to watch all of this and feel like there's not really a lot that I can do to prevent this Dry Bones vote from going through. So Dry Bones is working right now. He works until after deadline. He works until 10 p.m. Eastern time. So he's not really able to check in. And I feel like as soon as he went in for his shift, kind of things got rolling where Spyro basically was telling Zag, hey, Dry Bones is pitting us against each other. And really what this does is kind of, at least transparently from where I'm at, what this does is sort of pushes Quilava up the pecking order potentially. So I understand why Jay is doing that, but it just makes me feel like, whereas, before I really would have preferred Quilava to go here purely based on just the social connection that I have with him on this tribe. And now it feels like Jay's actively doing things to propel his husband, which I don't think is a surprise to anybody, but it's still a little bit annoying to have him complain to me, oh, that, this isn't fair. We're being targeted because we're husbands, and, there are other pre existing relationships in this game. And so basically, it kind of, in a way, at least on paper, seemingly forces us to take a shot at Crash next round. Whereas I think my ideal boot order here would have been, if not Quilava first, Crash first, then Quilava, and then Dry Bones. Just because I think longevity wise, I need the other four people. I need Aerith, I need Conquer. I'm probably going to need Spyro and Zag, just in terms of what's coming over the horizon on the merge. So yeah, I think that Aerith is more than fine to let this happen, and I can't really push back too much. because I feel like that's just going to degrade my position in the group. I just feel really bad because I don't feel like Dry Bones has necessarily brought this on himself the way that maybe I think others are thinking that he has. I think that his intentions were not necessarily bad, but I do think that he's been in a spot on this tribe where he doesn't know where the majority is going to be. And so he's been trying to make sure that he's good with everybody. So he's going to Zag and telling him that Zag can trust him, but he's also going to Quilava and Spyro and telling them that he trusts them. And so I think that the minute people start comparing notes, as hard as that position is, it gets really easy for that person to be scapegoated. I'm not concerned per se about Jay at this point, but I have been informed that he's proposed to Zag that he, Conker, Aerith, and Zag should become a foursome. And I mean, Jay definitely kind of intimated to me before Zag told me that that was an angle that might be pushed. And I don't feel that I really have anything that I can viably and rationally be annoyed about that group if it forms, because I'm basically doing the same thing to Jay, but I'm not telling him. And as far as I know, Aerith, Zag, and Conker haven't told him about that group. I could be wrong. Aerith and Spyro started out on the same tribe, so they could definitely feel like they need to prioritize one another over me. But for now, I feel like I'm still in a pretty good spot. It just gets dicey because we have these Stone Sword keys that could complicate things, and then Zag has an extra vote. There could theoretically be an invader that comes to our tribe at some point. There's at least one more out there, most likely. I'm assuming all three of those invaders were claimed. So yeah, I don't know. I'm guessing that perhaps the silver lining will be that Zag and Conker will feel a little bit more comfortable letting Crash go if we, in good faith, just go with a Dry Bones vote. But just in my heart and as an empath, I just feel bad because I really love Dry Bones as a person. I just feel like for my game, I have to pivot and go with where the tides are turning, or I'm going to get swept up with everything that's happened to him. And I can't put myself in that position. And it's hard because I also can't give him a heads up. And I know that he's scared, but that's unfortunately one of the biggest drawbacks of this game, is that you have to be a bit duplicitous and potentially hurt feelings on the way. So I just really hope that he's able to understand, even though I know he's probably going to be hurt if it's a 7-1 against him. It's a little annoying because Zag and Conker brought up the idea of voting with Crash if Crash was going to be the one that went home. And I don't feel like I have the same luxury to vote with Dry Bones against Crash here. And it just kind of sucks because I would like to be in solidarity with him, but it just doesn't feel like the smart thing to do. So as y'all can see, I've got a couple of my tribe mates that want to chat, but we've got about an hour and 15 minutes left until deadlines, so we'll see what happens. I'll hopefully see y'all on the other side. Dixie out.